Sláinte, everybody. I am so excited for my guest tonight. This is an exciting week for me in general and for the Irish. This is our favorite time of year, especially for whiskey. So let's see who is all here today. My buddy Christine Vasco, Sláinte Christine. I know you had your proclamation day up in Cleveland this weekend as well. We got Brian Slapshots Roadhouse. Cheers to you. Cheers, Bourbon School. We got Ethan and Katie with Drifting Drams. Hey, Richie Z. Thank you, Drifting Drams, for reminding people, please smash that like on your way in. And one of my mods, please put the link to Drifting Drams in chat. Everybody subscribe to them if you're not subscribed to them already. Cheers, Michelle Martin. Thank you for joining us tonight. Hey, DMZ, Prescription Bourbon in the house. Cheers, Mart Mace. There's Sugar Kitty. I knew Sugar Kitty would be here. Cheers, Story Time. Cheers, Paul M. The St. Patrick's Day parade just ended, and I got me some crock-pot corned beef, and all is right with the world. Well, that'll definitely do it. That sounds really good. Let me bring in my guest tonight, Jason from the Mash and Drums. Thank you so much for joining me today.
What's up, C-Bus?
I said this is the shortest distance I've ever had to send samples.
It's a nice cheap route to take, right?
Yeah, it was pretty easy.
What's up, guys? Cheers. Thanks for hanging out tonight.
Hey, David Smith, first time here. Thank you for joining us tonight. So we're going to be drinking some Irish whiskey.
Yes. Irish whiskeys that I probably have never had. So this is very exciting.
I'm looking at this list, and yeah, none of these are in the U.S.
All right, even better. We're going coastal, baby.
Which I tend to have a lot of those, as you can see behind me. Yeah.
So how do you get? I mean, can you say? I don't want to like get you in trouble, really, but can you say how you get a lot of these Irish whiskeys from overseas?
Yeah, they're shipped to your house.
Or I was just gonna say, do you go to Ireland a lot, or they'll just ship them?
Yeah, they'll ship to your house.
Oh, okay.
Living proof right here. They'll ship to your house. I got one on the way now. Yeah.
All right. Awesome.
Yeah. Before they were shipping illegally, and it's still kind of iffy, but 2021, Ohio kind of relaxed a little bit as far as alcohol being shipped in state.
Yeah.
So it makes it a little bit easier. Some of these are available in Kentucky and other states, a little bit in the US, but
yeah, for sure.
Actually, one of them is available here. The rest of them are all available. And actually, some of them aren't even available in Ireland. Some of these are club bottles I'm having you try.
Oh, even better.
Yeah, you said get crazy with it, so we are getting stupid.
Yeah, I told you, let's get nuts. I want to try different stuff.
Exactly, Bourbon School. You can ship olive oil and vinegar anywhere. You can ship, bath oil too, guys.
I've sent gallons of olive oil in my day.
I know everybody tries to hide it, and I've gotten boxes with pennies and with mac and cheese in them. I'm like, guys, I just sent it.
I actually think the best shipping candy or the best shipping option to go with are Reese's Pieces, because not only are they the greatest, but you can eat them after you're done shipping.
I would not be upset to get those.
Mike and Ike's work good too, but I don't really like. I'm not a big Mike and Ike guy, so.
I think it was Michelle Davlar from Women of Whiskey sent me Nerds, and I was real excited about that.
Oh, Nerds is a good one. Yeah.
You mentioned bath oil, and Bubble Bath Bourbon appears out of nowhere.
Of course.
Cheers to you, Bubble Bath. So the first one we're going to start with is actually the oldest of the group, because I figure let's start at the lowest ABV.
Oh, lowest ABV of the group. Got it.
Yeah, lowest ABV of the group just happens to be also the oldest bottle, and this is Bushmills 2002 Causeway Edition. Oh, focus.
Oh wait, I was gonna try that poo.
Oh, the Pachin. Well, that's peated, so I don't want to give you that one right away.
Oh, okay. I'll save that later then. Okay.
Yeah, that's got some peat to it.
All right, so we're gonna go with the Bushmills. Perfect.
Yeah. So the Causeway editions are released. Unfortunately, they're not released in the U.S.
Mm-hmm. I've read about these. Like when I do news updates, I've seen these, mentioned. I'm like, oh man, I'd be cool to try one of those for sure.
So this is the first one. This was actually released August of last year. And this is the first one from Alex Thomas as master blender at Bushmills. And she really wanted to show the innovation that Bushmills could do. So she released a vermouth and a Pomerol. And this is the first Irish single malt ever released in vermouth. So this is aged 18 years in bourbon and ex-bourbon and ex-sherry casks, and then another 2 full years in vermouth casks.
Wow, that vermouth really comes. I was like,
Yeah.
I have never ever smelled an Irish whiskey like this. It smells like a cocktail.
Yeah, it's really floral.
Very floral.
I get a lot of orange and floral on this one, like rose petals, or rose.
I get I hit lavender like right away for me. A little bit of lavender.
Yeah, I get a little chamomile.
Yeah. Oh, maybe it's chamomile. Yeah. It's very like floral tea like almost. A little bit of a tea.
Yeah, I could see that.
David Smith, he's never had Irish whiskey before. Oh, dude, it's another round.
Oh, you're in luck. There is a lot of Irish whiskey out there now. There are a lot more of them are making their way over here or taking the plunge because unfortunately there's not enough people to buy whiskey in Ireland. You can't survive with the number of distilleries that are open right now.
So
There's
when
42 distilleries.
So when was this released? This specific version?
This was released in August of last year, 2022. They released this one, and then they released I think it was 10 years old, a Pomerol cask.
So they have on the label here 2002. So this is a 20-year-old product?
Yes.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, I've had some old whiskeys, but nothing with vermouth. But yeah, that floral note is really coming through. I like it. I'm also getting some there's some citrus behind there too, a little orange peel.
Yeah, I get a little bit of orange on this one as well.
Yeah. Wow, thanks so much for sending this one. This is never smelled an Irish whiskey like this. Guys, for those of you like watching, this is really normally high-aged Irish whiskeys. I'll pick up a lot of tropical notes. Mm-hmm. And while I'm getting citrus here, the vermouth and that floral component is just really, at least on the nose. So
oh, you're welcome, Mark Vasco. I knew you would like the Bow Street.
Oh my God.
He got a good deal on that Bow Street too.
I love that. But I did a whole video on Bow Street because I thought it was really interesting. I love that. I love that whiskey.
Ooh,
oh, hey. There's the tropical.
Yeah.
Toasted
it's hard to have it 18 years in bourbon and not get those. I get those tropical notes typically from those bourbon casks.
Toasted coconut, little pineapple, but man, that little bit of floral is still there. You said there was some sherry maturation here too?
Yeah, it's Oloroso sherry too. 18 years of it was ex-bourbon and ex-Oloroso.
Wow.
I get a little almond on this too from the Oloroso. I
could totally see that. The Oloroso is not coming through as so much of like, the dark fruit notes, but maybe more the nuttiness characteristic.
Yeah. And I still do get like some rose water on the palate.
Wow, rose water.
It's interesting. It's different than anything I have.
Yeah, that's crazy. You could put this on a glass like over a big cube and tell me it's some kind of Irish whiskey cocktail. It's pretty delicious.
So anybody who wants one of these are still available. Unfortunately, like I said, this is an Ireland release. So it's getting that one's going to include a little bit of shipping. But for the first releases with Alex Thomas as master blender, I thought she knocked it out of the park with these two.
Yeah. A little bit of like a light honey note too in there.
Yeah, I do get some honey.
Yeah. This is nice.
Hey, Donald Rance, cheers.
Oh, I was waiting for Donald to come in. I wonder if Donald has had this.
Donald, I don't know if you've had this one, the Bushmills 2002 Vermouth, the Causeway. Donald I know he has a couple of them. I think he has the cognac.
Yeah. Did you happen to get the new green spot yet? The new finish?
It's on its way.
Perfect.
Yeah. A friend of mine ordered it from Michelin Sun and went in together on shipping because shipping's outrageous for Michelin Sun. It's like €80 for one bottle.
For one bottle? Oh my God. Excuse me.
What it paid for the gold spot. Yeah. So we're like, why don't we just buy bottles together.
Man, this is awesome. Mm. That is just a sit back, relax, and enjoy type of dram. Man, I love this. Stacy is waiting for the Bushmills Causeway. We are bringing her, says Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got me one as well. Yeah. The Australian, correct me if I'm wrong, Chris. I thought it was the Burgundy.
Man, that is nice.
There you go, Jim. Be warned, it's not cheap. No, it's not. 20-year-old Irish whiskey is never cheap.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's definitely not cheap.
So next, we are going to go to the Culloden Acacia cask. And I am going to be killing off the last of mine here.
Acacia cask. Very nice.
Oh, come on, camera.
There you go.
So this is a 10-year-old source whiskey from Culloden. This is 75% of this is Cooley grain.
Ooh, love some Cooley.
20% is double distilled Cooley malt. 5% is triple distilled Bushmills malt.
Interesting.
And then it is finished 2 years in the Acacia, or not 2 years, sorry. They didn't say how long it's finished, I don't think. Yeah, he didn't say how long it was finished in the Acacia cask. I'd ask him.
Nice.
But like everything with Culloden, this is bottled at natural color, cask strength, non-chill filtered.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Culloden. I just don't see it enough of it. You know, obviously in Columbus.
No, Party Source has some.
Yep, that's where I've seen it mostly.
Yeah, I had to work to get that there. That was not easy. They are going to be doing a U.S. release of their own distillate. I have 2 of them over here.
Really?
And I'm working hopefully to get that at Party Source because their own stuff, what Brendan Carty is doing is just freaking amazing. Mm-hmm. So he's going old school and measuring by the sack as far as doing measurements for each batch. They're using like worm tub condensers. They're detailing everything in every bottle. They're going so much on transparency. You know, the type of distillation, the type of maturation, the hours that was spent. And it's crazy how much information he's providing.
Gosh, I'm getting like grapefruit on this. Just crazy. Like a freshly cut grapefruit.
Yeah, I could definitely see that.
Little apple too.
Yeah, I get the fresh apple and some vanilla in there.
Vanilla for sure. I mean, I think that's the thing that hit me immediately. There's a really nice burst of just vanilla extract in this.
Well, and I'm pretty sure this is all, let's see, is it X? No, some of it's X-Sherry as well. It's X-Bourbon and X-Sherry. And then they married it in another X-Bourbon cask, and then they finished it in the Virgin Oak and the Acacia.
With the Acacia, okay, with Virgin Acacia, okay.
Yeah, Virgin Acacia.
Yeah. It's a little peachy too, a little peach.
I could be peach. I always say apricot, but it actually could be peach.
Yeah, this is interesting because like you go from the tropical notes, and this is coming to me more stone fruitiness, which is nice.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. Wow, I bet it's spicy. We'll see.
Yeah. The wood really comes through on this one.
Oh, yeah.
Like vanilla and then the woodiness and
it's got this like toasted oak.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice.
Which is funny because they didn't toast the oak on this one. The only one they actually recharred was the Pinot Noir Burgundy they have.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the one that Donald and I suggested to Top Shelf Whiskey, that they pick up a bottle of this one. And they picked it as one of their whiskeys of the year last year. They loved it. Culloden did a whole experimental series. This was the second in the series. And they have a tequila finish, an Isla peated, a dark Jamaican rum. They have this one. They have the Pinot Noir Burgundy. They have a Hungarian oak, virgin Hungarian oak.
It's like spicy apple ginger. Get a little ginger snap.
Yes, I do get ginger on this one.
Yeah. I don't know if it's ginger snap, but I get ginger.
No, I'm getting more like fresh ginger, like
Yeah,
not
fresh, yeah,
ginger
fresh.
snap, but yeah, like actual like ginger.
Yep, yep. Mm.
Cheers, James Morgan.
Yeah, it goes from ginger right into that really just nice, like that virgin oak. It's really good.
Yeah. Cologne is obviously my favorite distillery. I think I have freaking everything.
Mhm.
They're doing the latest one, which I'm lucky I get to take part in it. They're doing an experiment with their yeast strains. So they're
Yeah.
sending me 3 bottles of the Pachin, and each one is a different yeast strain because they're trying to figure out which works best for a direction they're trying to go. But I'm excited to be part of that and kind of give them notes on it. This is Ireland's smallest distillery up in the Mourne Mountains in County Down. County Down is becoming a huge hotspot for Irish whiskey.
County Down.
Yeah.
So that like you're like talking like regionality, County Down.
Yeah. Just
Okay.
it's about halfway between Dublin and Belfast.
Any reason why? Any reason why it's become such a hot spot?
You've got Culloden in the Mourne Mountains. You've got 2 stacks that have opened up in Dundalk or Newry, I can't remember which. You've got Ecklinville that's right there that's producing Dunvilles. You've got Shortcross, you've got Copeland, you've got Hinch. So it's just all these distilleries have settled there, and it's creating a lot of really great whiskey.
Yeah, I mean they have the Irish whiskey. I've said a lot of times like a lot of people think like bourbon American whiskey is the fastest growing segment. It's not. It's actually
It's
Irish.
Irish. Yeah.
It's Irish whiskey hands down. The amount of distilleries and everything popping up is pretty incredible.
Yeah, I think me and my friends are probably supporting the Irish economy pretty well. Just based on the amount that my husband would agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, cheers, Jake.
Donald Rand says Red Spot's about to drop,
Wow.
and I'm a huge
That's
fan
a
of Red
steal.
Spot. Yeah,
It's 190 in Ohio now.
I know.
It's
I know.
ridiculous.
So
Ridiculous. All right. So next,
I really like that one. I'm gonna have to savor that
so
one.
this specific one is going to be tougher to find. I know Kentucky doesn't have it anymore. They do have some of the dark rum and the Pinot Noir and the rum raisin, but this one is going to take a little more to find just because this is the first one that's sold out.
You're talking about the Cologne?
The Acacia.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that thing is freaking delicious. All right, so what do we got up next?
Okay, so next is the one that honestly I don't have a whole lot of info about because they haven't given any, because this is a private club bottle. This is the Christmas cake, the Redbreast Christmas cake.
Redbreast Christmas cake. And this was selected from a club?
But this is from the Middleton Barrel Club.
Okay.
So Middleton Barrel Club, you get 4 shipments a year, one every quarter. And you'll have a full-size bottle and 2 or 3 samples with it. The one upcoming is a Napogue series. I don't know if we're getting the 12 or the 14 and then some samples. They do not ship to the US, but obviously there's several of us that are members. There's a place we ship to get stuff over here.
Love it.
But this one was the Christmas release that got me to sign up. And I'm hoping they'll release this one next year.
So this specific release got you to sign up?
Yeah.
What was the reason why, though?
It just sounded really good.
That's
it.
What I was going to say. Just because it's named Christmas cake?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It says Christmas cake. So this is a cream sherry finish.
Cream sherry finish.
Cream sherry.
And is that the main maturation, or is there another maturation?
No, that's just the finish. It's Oloroso and ex-bourbon.
Also, Oloroso ex-bourbon and then cream sherry on the end.
Cream sherry, yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. European virgin oak cask, cream sherry wine casks, and PX wine casks.
Oh my God, this smells ridiculous.
Yeah, I sent this to the likes and because Julie wanted to try it. And I said, I have to send this one to you. So we're really, really, really hoping that they release this publicly this next coming year.
What, is just like a special release?
It was only released for Middleton Barrel Club. So if you weren't a Barrel Club member, you can't get one of these unless you go on the auction sites to find one.
Shit.
So this is also like, that's not good enough. This is also cask strength. at 58% ABV.
What the hell, Redbreast? This is
Yeah, I know, right?
this is probably the most this is the best Redbreast on the nose that I've had in a long time. I don't know about you. I actually be interested to get your take on Redbreast recently. Just some of their special releases that release in the US. I'm talking about like the Kentucky Oak, the small batch cast strength. Like I felt like, to me personally, I wasn't a fan of either of those releases. I thought they were okay for what they were. They were fine.
Yeah.
They were fine whiskeys. I thought for the price, though, it kept me longing for more flavor, more balance. I felt like it was younger whiskey. Well, I don't know. What was your take on it?
I was not impressed by Kentucky Oak at all. It was fine. Nothing wrong
It
with
was
it. It was
fine.
fine. It was
Fine.
okay.
I get it.
But I missed that sherry. It just wasn't a Redbreast.
Yeah.
And the problem is like you can't see top shelf here. I have a Hinch Doublewood that's probably only 5 years old,
Yeah.
and it's close enough for $30. I'm going to drink that. And it
Yeah.
wasn't anything that was going to blow me away.
I did
That
miss
I
the
would say,
sherry.
yeah, I want to buy this. I thought not having that sherry in it, I thought was a big mistake.
Yeah, I think the combination of sherry and oak and ex bourbon definitely is what makes Redbreast kind of magical, and some other spirits too. I mean, one of my favorite Scotch distillers is Boonhaven, and they use a great combination of sherry and ex bourbon
Mhm.
as well, which I think is what kind of makes that flavor build. And I was definitely missing that. But man, if
Yeah,
this
this is
if this made it as a special, like people would go ape shit.
so we're really hoping. So the box right before I joined, they had a single pot still from Jameson that ended up being the Jameson single pot still that released a month later. So we're really hoping this releases. I know.
Oh, come on.
I know it's so freaking good.
That might be the best Redbreast I've had. And I'm even including the Redbreast 27 in there.
Oh, this one and La Maison Dieu, the single cast for La Maison Dieu was really good.
Now the Redbreast 27 is good. It's great.
But it depends on which batch you get. Batch 3, I
Exactly.
wasn't impressed.
Batch 1 I thought was amazing.
Yeah, I have batch 2. Batch 3 was just too much cantaloupe.
I
Or
totally agree.
grapefruit. That's what it was. It's
Batch
grapefruit.
3 went into a very sour place.
Yeah.
Batch 2 I thought was really good. Batch
Yeah, I
1,
had batch 2. I like batch 2.
Batch
I haven't
1
had batch 4 yet.
Batch 1 probably my favorite, but this, my gosh, if this was bottled and people, it would. I mean, I enjoyed going back to what who said it in the chat. I think it was AW. The PX was incredible. I was a big fan of the PX. But man, this is on another. I think that cream sherry. I'm not even sure what it's adding, but I just feel like this is more flavor forward. It's almost got like this toasty like aspect to it that like just warms you up inside.
But it still has a little bit of the woodiness. I think this has more woodiness than the PX does. This is
For sure.
This reminds me of Listo in that aspect.
This is a better balanced, I think, finish rather than the PX was very heavy PX. Like you were here.
It was. It overwhelmed. Yeah. But I mean, it was still really, really good.
It was still really good. Yeah. I mean, but this is more of like where the finish is complementing the whiskey rather than the finish overtaking the whiskey.
Yeah.
What's up, Bad Axe Bourbon?
Hey, Bobby.
Oh my God.
So we got stuck with the Redbreast small batch and the Redbreast Kentucky Oak. They got a Redbreast 10-year that was a throwback to the Gilbey's Trad Pot still.
Oh.
So I might have to share some of that one with you sometime too. I got that one back here too. Now that one's on the auction sites all the time for like $100. So that one is real easy to pick up. This one,
we're gonna have to talk later about these auction sites because I want this bottle.
I'll share it.
Yeah.
Hey, Cool Running. It's one of my favorite Irishmen.
I don't think I've ever had this much cinnamon in a Redbreast before.
I get a lot of clove on this one too.
Oh, clove. That's it. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's more of a clove note than cinnamon. But yeah, I could see this. I could see why they're calling this Christmas cake. It's very, it's got a lot of baking spice to it for an Irish whiskey. I'm not really picking up. I think there's some of those typical tropical flavors, but I think the sherry, that cream sherry really just brings a level of baking spice to it.
Yeah, it really does. I don't
And I
get the orange. I don't get the nutty as much
totally
as
agree. Not really
yeah.
getting that at all. And I love that virgin oak pepperiness that you get just kind of
Yes.
keeps the finish hanging on. Yeah, this is great. Oh, I just got what was that? Love when you kind of just let a whiskey just kind of. I always get different notes right when I'm bringing the glass to my nose. Not so much when it's here, but like as I'm bringing it up, I'll get like something different.
Well, and this is one I don't wash the glass at the end of the night because it's like I want to come back an hour later or 2 hours
God,
later
it must
and
smell
just
like
fill
a
the glass.
friggin' Yankee candle, for God's sake. My goodness.
Yeah, on the glass, I got a little more of that vanilla now coming through.
I think that's what it is. It's a
Yeah.
very, very like a
But
vanilla.
it's like vanilla bean, like an actual
Yeah.
vanilla bean.
See, I was like getting like vanilla wafer cookie almost.
Yeah, I can see that.
Gets that. But I can see vanilla bean. There's like a hint of toffee. This thing is all over the place. Oh my gosh.
So like I said, we're really, really hoping that this year they'll release this one come fall.
Is there a
This will be the next US release. We're hoping.
petition? Can I write them a letter? Something? Like begging them to do that?
I know, and I feel bad for Napogue because Napogue
Yeah.
Castle, there's nothing wrong with it, but that to follow up this with Napogue, it's like, oh, everybody's kind of let down.
Jesus Christmas, this is good. Wow. That's a special bottle right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wish there was a smell-o-vision or something so you guys watching could actually smell that whiskey. I'm gonna leave this in the glass too. I want to come back to that one. My goodness.
I'm forever gonna think Yankee Candle now.
Yeah. That is a holiday Yankee candle in the glass.
Alrighty. The next one in proof, we're going to Two Stacks Cherry Brandy Cask.
Cherry brandy finish.
Cherry brandy.
Now I know Two Stacks is a blended whiskey.
Yes.
So what's the blend?
This is 40% dark grain aged in virgin oak, 40% light grain aged in ex-bourbon cask, 8% single pot still aged in Oloroso butts, 10% double malt aged in bourbon casks, and 2% peated malt aged in bourbon casks. Then this one is finished in a French oak cask that held cherry brandy.
So is all that blend, was it vatted and then thrown into that cherry brandy?
Yes.
Oh, got
Yeah,
it.
this is their standard cask strength. That's about 4.5 years old. And then that's just finished in the cherry brandy casks. Now, this one was actually a Dutch release. So this was released for the Netherlands that a friend and I got on the website and figured out enough Dutch to order twice. So we had it shipped from there to Ireland to us in the States. But this is just such the second we saw cherry brandy, we just got really excited about it. Really wanted to try it, and I've been really impressed with this one.
So is this one of the
ABV.
I've seen these. Is this one of the blender's cuts?
This is the blender's cut. So this is that same blender's cut, but finished. And this is really where Two Stack shines, is these finishes. They had an apple brandy cask they released this past year in Ireland. They have a tawny port. They have a Barbados rum. They have an apricot brandy. They have a stout finish called Smoke and Mirrors. And that's really where they shine, are these finishes.
I don't even know where to begin with this.
Yeah, I mean, the thing I like about them is they're recently priced. So it's just like $70.
Really? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on in here for $70. I'll say that.
Yeah.
I mean, you do get the cherry right away. I mean, I hate to say like it's pretty prevalent, but it is.
Yeah, which it's I'm sure it's intention. I'm curious to see what you get on this because I get one note and a second. It's one of those things. The second I found that note, that's all I get on this.
That's all you get
But I
now?
love it, and that's why I keep
Yeah.
going back to it.
Yeah, wow. I just kind of want to just keep diving into this. It's every time I go back to it, this thing is all over the place.
Yeah, Two Stacks is doing a lot of their the single cast releases. They just did a 6-year single malt for Irish malts, which is an online Irish distillery.
Yeah.
And that one is sourced from Great Northern. This I think is all sourced from Great Northern, and they do these cast finishes, and then they do the special kind of casts that they're able to acquire. They've done 2 that have been in red ice wine casks as well.
Whew.
But they're another one that doesn't do any artificial coloring, non-chill filtering, nothing.
Love it. I love that. I think that's Irish whiskey at its best.
Oh, I completely
Really.
agree.
And
Yeah, that's the
don't
downside
think
about that
enough-
redbreast, because that redbreast,
Yeah.
I don't really know if that is the natural color, because IDL does use artificial coloring.
Okay. Oh my gosh. This smells like cherry Coca-Cola. Is that the note?
Yes. I get cherry Coke on this.
It's cherry Coca-Cola.
Hmm.
And yeah, I don't think I could get beyond it.
I know, right? I know.
If there's other notes in here, I'm sure it's delicious, but I can't get beyond cherry Coke.
Yeah. I'm
Oh
like,
my
holy
God.
crap, that's cherry Coke.
It is pure cherry Coke. It's like cherry
Yeah.
Coke syrup.
Yeah. And I'm sure there's a lot else going on, but I'm okay if all I get's cherry Coke on this, I'm okay with that because I
You
really like
mentioned
cherry
you
Coke.
mentioned in the last round we had, you mentioned clove. I think I get a little
Mhm.
clove in here too. Cherry Coke, clove. There's something dark and rich about it.
I could see that, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that the 2% peat malt, just that 2% really adds a nice kind of depth to this as well.
Oh, damn, Stacy, what are you doing to me? Like, I read when I opened these samples, I'm like, cherry brandy. I'm like, I don't know about that. I've had cherry brandy finishes. I've had cherry bitters. Never really. I like natural cherry that comes through like in a barrel over
Mhm.
time. Like when you talk about like, Buffalo Trace having a heavy cherry note. Some Elijah Craig barrel proofs having a heavy cherry.
Mhm.
Man, when you kind of like force it, I've never really been a fan, but this is not like, yes, it's forced in there, but it's all in balance. It's
Yeah.
not, it doesn't, and you're right, that little slight peated malt, that little bit of smoke, I think balances out the sweetness enough where it's not cloyingly cherry
Yeah.
cola,
Yeah, it's cherry cola notes, but just it adds a kind of a nice depth and richness and darkness to it that just but it's not over, but it's something that even people that don't like peated whiskey won't notice that 10% or that 2% in here.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, cheers, OH. And I
Oh,
saw
we got
Jeffrey
OH,
Wack.
Mr. Oisin's here. Oh, EJ with Lily, Jeffrey Wack is here.
Yeah, Wack.
Look at all you guys chilling out here tonight. Jeffrey Wack might still be mad at me. I hope he's not mad at me still.
Wack has also had the Cologne Acacia.
Oh. I'm only messing with you, Jeff. Oh my gosh. Wow. I thought nothing was going to beat the Redbreast, but this is pretty damn delicious.
Yeah. Well, for quite a bit less too. This one actually is still available.
This is still like where like it's available like in
In the Netherlands. I'll hook you up after.
Jesus Lord.
Yeah, it's available in the Netherlands, and you ship to Ireland, and they'll ship it right here.
Okay. Netherlands.
Cheers,
So
Kathy Joe.
Oh, Kathy Joe's here. What's up, Kathy Joe? I may never forgive you if you don't win it all.
I don't know.
No pressure at all. No pressure at all.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Two Stacks and what they're doing. They've just
For sure.
they're really creative. And it's funny because kind of the Irish Whiskey Association, which is basically the Diageos and the IDLs and the Pernod Ricards,
Yeah.
they're starting to have discussions about outlawing two things, and it's brandy cask finishes and canned Irish whiskey. And it's like, geez, I wonder who's doing both of those.
All right, so there's always someone that comes into the fold that wants to change the game up, and people get a little bit shook by it.
Yeah.
So what about Two Stack that you think is? I love the disruption. I think it's awesome. But why just those two things to go after? Just because?
I think honestly, they aren't a threat at all, but I think they are
Yeah,
going to
is
start
Two
cutting
Stack?
into the US money a little bit.
Is Two Stacks even that much of a footprint to disrupt the
No,
Irish whiskey industry that much? No.
not that much. I think they're just preemptively panicking.
Most of your giant brands are still coming from Irish distillers. No one could compete with them.
No. No, but I think it's one of those things they didn't invent it first.
Hey, have you been to I know it's probably not new now. I guess still relatively new. Have you been to the brand new Irish Distillers distillery since they rebuilt it, redone it?
I haven't since they rebuilt it, and I know that they are going. They're actually building another huge they're getting big into sustainability, and they're building another huge warehouse there, and they're spending like billions investing into that. I have not. Last time we got over there was 2014. We're hoping to get back this fall because the other thing that you get with Middleton Barrel Club, you get a VIP tour of Middleton.
Wow.
With that membership.
They actually just throw you right in the barley, don't they?
Pretty much. Yeah.
You get to just float in the pot still.
Yeah.
All right. So
I think they just hand you a whiskey thief and open the door and send you on your merry little way. We'll be back for you in a couple hours.
So Jeffrey Wack is asking the Killowen versus the Two Stack. That's a good comparison.
That's a good one.
I think
so. The thing is that a couple of the guys at Two Stacks actually own a share of Killowen, and before Two Stacks got their facility all up and running, their whiskey was finishing at Killowen.
I have to say, I like the Killowen better on the nose. I think there's more depth there.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, cherry Coke.
Yeah,
but it's hard to get beyond that.
Yeah, it is. And honestly, it's one of those things I'm like, I love that cherry Coke note, so I'm okay if that's all I get.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. But I do think the Killowen has a little bit more depth. And I like that. Does. I love the spice that the Killowen has. So, yeah, Jeff, if you're kind of going back and forth, I think the Killowen still.
I would go with the Killowen, yeah, over it.
Yeah,
that being said, I wouldn't be upset about either one of them. But
oh no, the problem is that this is a pretty high proof, and you could drink probably a whole bottle of this in like 10 seconds. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Man.
I have their apricot and their apple brandy here as well. The 2% peat malt comes through on those a bit more.
Mm-hmm.
More with the apricot than the apple. The apple, honestly, I got a lot of different notes, and then Bobby Bourbon Battalion sat down and said, "This tastes like apple fritters." I'm like, son of a bee. Yeah, that's apple fritters.
That's apple fritters. So do you have I know you appreciate Irish whiskey across the spectrum, but is there a specific brand or distillery that definitely has like a special place in your heart?
I love Killowen. I'm a huge Killowen fan.
I could see that.
I just have just about everything they've done. And Brendan Carty at Killowen is big on grassroots word of mouth marketing. And like I said, I talk to him all the time to try to get Killowen closer to us in Ohio and Kentucky. I'm like, don't sell in Ohio. It's too hard. Just go to Party Source. So we got it there. And Party Source has been thrilled because they actually had to restock it 3 times because we've all bought so much of it.
Yeah.
So, and I love what they're doing. They're embracing kind of the old way of doing things. Like they've got these Portuguese copper pots. They're doing the worm tub condensers for their own distillate. They're putting everything into transparency, but they're putting everything into quality as well. They're producing everything at cask strength, natural color, non-chill filtered. And I'm like, that's a direction I wish every one of them would go with.
Oh, for sure. I mean, and to my point earlier, I just don't think enough people know the depth of Irish whiskey when you get to stats like that. I
Mhm.
think, for more, newbies coming into whiskey, it's Irish whiskey is extremely approachable with good reason. Most of it being blended or triple distilled. It's a very easy thing to drink. But then you get into some of these that are, like you said, cast strength, non-chill filter, no
Mhm.
color added, all the different finishes you could think of, the depth of flavor. I try to preach a lot about Irish whiskey to folks that, when I'm not talking about bourbon or scotch, I was actually at an event yesterday and people were asking me about Irish whiskey.
Mhm.
And, because obviously St. Patty's Day is coming up. I'm like, well, what have you had? And, they're telling me, oh, I've had the Jamesons and I've had the, Bushmills, and they've talked about a lot of popular brands. And
Mhm.
I was like, listen, guys, you gotta start getting into, you gotta start finding some of these, um, look on those labels for cast strength, no color,
Mhm.
non-chill filtered. You'll never go back to those blends again because that's like the full flavor of Irish whiskey and what you can.
Yeah, you really have to look more for the independent bottlers. Get
Exactly.
away
Yeah,
from the Redbreast and the Bushmills and the
yeah.
Jamesons, and you're gonna find more of that. Those are the brands that are giving people what they want. And
Redbreast might be the most well known. Just talking to
yeah,
folks that people know of.
well, and Jameson, yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm talking. When I think kind of folks in the middle I
Yeah,
think Jameson's the first brand they think of,
yeah.
but when they're kind of venturing out into Irish whiskey, I think Redbreast is it's kind of like Buffalo Trace in a way where it's like, oh, what should I
Yeah.
try? Like, oh, you got to try Redbreast. You know what I mean? Because it's like the most well known.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean,
and when they're starting you're right, when they're starting to wanna spend more on a bottle, Redbreast 12 is
yeah,
the first place they usually go.
totally.
Yeah.
But man, Donald Rance, to his credit, he introduced me to a lot of different brands I would have never tried.
Oh, Donald's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the Bushmills of the world, like some of these really great value Bushmills that I would have never probably even looked at on the shelf, but are really good. The Powers stuff. I mean, between the Three Swallows and the John's Lane, probably two of the most Irish whiskeys that are
Mhm.
always in my collection because I just love to tear through those things. So
Have you had Power Signature yet?
Power's Signature. I don't think so.
Oh, we gotta get you some of that.
Okay.
That's discontinued, and it's so freaking good.
What's the maturation on that?
Oh, oh crap! I can't tell. It's over there. Donald, I know you have it. You're in here.
Donald probably has it just in his brain.
Probably. I tell Donald all the time, I'm like, I'm an enthusiast. Donald is a freaking historian.
Yeah.
Donald can tell you the name of the guy that bottled the whiskey that day.
Yeah, probably.
It's amazing the amount of knowledge that Donald has.
I was talking to the same person last night. I'm like, do you know there are 4 different types of Irish whiskey? And he was like, wait, what? Like he couldn't, like it kind of blew his mind.
Well, there actually is it kind of is more now because now what you're going to see that starting this year is stuff like the Powers Rye. So that one you notice all it has on there is Irish whiskey. There's nothing else because it's considered a mixed mash bill.
Oh,
So
I
you're going
love
to start
this.
seeing a lot more of
I'm
that.
loving this. Tell me more.
Yeah.
They're making a rye?
You didn't know? Yeah, it's already in Ohio.
What?
Dude, get on OHOQ. It's in Ohio. Yeah. They made 100% Irish rye. So they actually contracted a farm, Cooney Wexford Farm, down in County Wexford, Cooney Furlong Farm down in County Wexford to create this rye for their whiskey. It's
Dude, I'm
100% Irish rye.
I'm
30
buying
bucks.
I'm buying this shit tomorrow. Now that's gonna be my review for St. Patty's Day.
Oh, and Wax already ahead of you. It's already
Oh,
out.
you said it's already out. Okay. Yeah,
Oh, he's seen me drinking it too,
I've
probably.
been having I'm going to buy that shit tomorrow.
It's really good.
It's
It's
good.
for the price. I mean, for 30 bucks.
All right, so let me ask you this. Being an Irish rye, does it still fall under the rules to be an Irish whiskey?
Yeah. It's
Okay.
it's considered an Irish whiskey, but it does not fall into any category. It's considered a mixed mash bill because it's not a blend, it's not a single pot still, it's not a single malt, it's not a single grain. So you're going to start seeing a lot more of that this year. You're going to see just stuff with just Irish whiskey on the label with none of those designations. I've
Okay.
got a few of them back here.
So because they're using different types of grains, is that really the
Well, just because they're exceeding the grains, yeah, and mixing stuff up that doesn't fall into any of the existing categories. It can't be a blend because it's not made up of single malt and single pot
Yep.
still or single grain.
Yep.
It can't be. It's not single pot still.
Mhm.
So yeah, you're going to start seeing a lot more of those. I've got some back here that just say whiskey because they were bonded at the O'Brien's Tower at the Cliffs of Moher, and the taxation group said, nope, that's not a bonded whiskey warehouse. So you could just slap whiskey on it. Well, obviously it's Irish whiskey.
Oh, Donald Rand said he messaged me about the Powers Rise some time ago. Yeah, sorry, Donald. I'm sure I read it. I appreciate it, but oh my God, I get 35,000 questions a day. So sorry.
Yeah, I can't, oh my God, I can't even imagine.
Yeah,
I cannot even imagine.
Yeah, it's
yeah, if you get a chance, check it out. It's for $30. It's a really good whiskey for $30.
Only $30.
Yeah, so it's specifically priced $1 more than Powers Gold Label. That's by intention by Powers.
So what's the proof on it though?
43.1 or 2.
Oh, not bad, not bad. So
no, and we get the 43%.
So Alex Mead is asking me, you guys need to try Dingle. What do you think of Dingle?
So, oh boy, I've got some samples of Dingle. I can give you Dingle's one of those you love it or you hate it.
Okay.
The malt in it is really earthy.
I was just gonna say, is there something production wise that they use that just doesn't jive with a lot of people?
It's a really unique flavor profile that they go with, and some people really like it and some people don't. Oh. And I've got some that I don't care for. I've got a couple that I do like. I've got 4 of them I can send you to try. I've got a couple of their new series. They did a new series that's based on the Celtic calendar. So the first one was Samhain, which is Celtic New Year. And then the next one was Lala Breed, which was St. Bridget and for spring. And that one's so the Samhain is finished in a Sauterne, and the Lala Breed is finished in a rye cask. So it's different. It's just real. Like I said, I'll get y'all. It's really
as we're sipping here, I'm pretty much like almost done with this cherry cola thing because it's so damn good.
So next, like that ABV wasn't high enough, we're going with the Short Cross peated Irish whiskey.
Now we're
66%.
Now we're talking. Give me the.
So this is actually one of the reasons that I ended up even getting into this at all, is because I started watching everybody, and I don't think people realized how much Irish whiskey is out there. Like, well, there's not a lot of cask strength. Well, yeah, there is. There's a whole lot of cask strength. It's like there's not a lot of peated Irish whiskey. There's over 40 of them now. And then my husband's like, why don't you just create a channel?
Yeah, there you go.
So this was a release from my Irish Whiskey Club. This is the first peated single malt that has been distilled and matured and released in Northern Ireland in 75 years. This is the first peated single malt that has been done at Redemin Estate Distillery in Northern Ireland. This is the first time an ex-orange liqueur cask has been used to entirely mature an Irish whiskey. The whole thing, it was 6 years and 10 months, all aged in an ex-orange liqueur cask that had cognac in it.
You know what I just was about to say what this smells like? I haven't tasted it yet, but
orange
no, it smells like an orange creamsicle that was smoked.
Yeah, I get orange zest on it, but yeah, I could get that.
Like I'm getting like that push pop orange creamsicle shit that you used to eat when you were a kid, but there's like a smokiness to it. That's incredible.
Yeah. So this is double distilled, cask strength.
Wow.
This was I'm in a Irish Whiskey Club. That's the only way you could get one of these. These are still available if you. So Short Cross is another one of those distilleries. It's in County Down that's doing some really cool stuff. They're doing a lot of cask strength. I have they did a rye and malt that is so freaking good. It's like rye with molasses, and that one's 66%.
Oh my gosh.
Before they sold this cask to the Whiskey Club, they actually released it in at the Irish Whiskey Awards and ended up winning like a gold medal.
I mean, I can't At least on the nose, I can't get over that orange cream, that smoky orange creamsicle. It is
I
so.
get orange. I get a little bit of mint too.
Oh, I could see the mint for sure. There's like a sappiness to it almost. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's real rich and oily.
Mhm.
I get dark chocolate on this one too.
I dropped my creamsicle in the campfire. Jason C. ate 7. Exactly. And then you know what, Sugar Kitty? I ate it. That's what it reminds me of. My goodness. Man, I'm on the palate. I'm getting the smoke. I'm getting the sweet. There's something on the finish. I'm trying to negotiate in my head what that is.
I want to say mint, but I think it's a little more herbal than that.
It is herbal.
So I do know if you add a couple drops of water to this, that orange just explodes.
Yeah. Man. It almost like becomes like a sweet like pipe tobacco in a weird way.
Yeah, I could see that.
Got like this smoky sweet combination on the back. This has a really beautiful finish, and it's not just heat because it's high proof. It's got this really like nice lingering finish to it. That's a beautiful whiskey.
Yeah, this reminds me. I think people who like Ardbeg would really like this. It's kind of a little bit briny and yeah.
You know why? Because it's a sweeter peat. It's not.
Mhm.
It's not overly smoky like a Lafroig.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's a tropical peat, almost like a Lagavulin. This is more of a deep, rich, earthy yet sweet peat. God, that orange on the nose is insane.
Donald, this one, if you mean the short cross, this was in an Irish Whiskey Club exclusive that you had to be in the club. But you can get the malt and rye from the cask strength from Short Cross, and you can have it sent to places that will deliver to the US.
Stacy is in all the clubs.
I think I'm in 3 now.
Stacy, do you do Irish whiskey tastings?
Yes, I do. I just had one a couple weeks ago, actually.
You're gonna have to invite me to one because
yeah, I definitely will.
This is amazing.
I've got one. I had to reschedule it because I was supposed to do it at Jury Room, but Megan Dempsey went on vacation and forgot about it, and it was only like a week left. I'm like, Megan, can we kind of push this back a little bit?
I just got that chocolate note you were talking about a little. It took me.
Yeah, it's like dark chocolate.
It took me a couple sips to get it, but yeah, I'm seeing that there.
So I went through a virtual tasting with this and paired it with some orange chocolate and mint chocolate. Yeah, the mint chocolate, like those little Andes.
That must go so well. It's funny too because I just visited my mother today, and I was up in Powell. She's living in Powell now. She built a house over there, and I was she loves anything orange. She's probably the only person in the world that I know that loves orange marmalade. And I'm sure a lot of people love orange marmalade, but I've never met them. I just know my mother loves it. And so she actually gave me and my girlfriend Kim, she's like, hey, I just got this dark chocolate with orange zest in it. Why don't you guys try it? And we were literally sitting there chewing it. And this is taking me back to like a piece of chocolate I just had like 4 hours ago. It's crazy.
Drifting Drams. How does Teeling Black Pits hold up? Teeling Black Pits is the Sauterne finish. It's about 14, 15 ppm, so it's going to be right on the level with Connemara. It's going to be on the lighter side.
Yeah, I think, yeah. So I've had the Black Pits and the short, I think the Short Crosses definitely comes through a little bit of a heavier smoke.
It definitely does, yeah. So Black Pits actually has a cask strength version. It's just not coming to the States.
Oh. I'll make killer marmalades. You got to cut off most of the pit, though. Yeah, I mean, she loves it. But that chocolate orange, blood orange marmalade on a buttered crumpet is one of my favorite things in the morning.
That sounds delicious.
Blood orange marmalade on a buttered crumpet.
It must look like a crime scene, but it sounds delicious.
Donald Rance never sounded less Canadian than he did right there. I'm just saying. I know he's Canadian, but that was the least Canadian he's ever sounded. I love when I have some blood orange marmalade on the buttered crumpet. I can't do an Irish accent. I'm just saying.
No, I can't either.
Oh my God.
Jeffrey, we are having Short Cross peated Irish whiskey. This is cask strength, and this is finished in orange liqueur and cognac casks.
Jeffrey Jankerich, dude, this is. I don't know what my favorite is tonight. I really thought that Redbreast would be my favorite. That Redbreast Christmas cake was up there. So if I had to rank these.
Do you want to try the poachine, or you want to save that for later?
Oh, no, I'm going to try that shit.
All right. Now we're already peated up. So
yeah, we're peated up. So I think
this is I swear if everybody drank this, there would be world peace. This is that good. I would put it on par with every whiskey. It's so freaking good. So this is Stone Soup.
I'm so glad you said that, because I really think that whiskey is the key to world peace. Just put everybody in a room.
This one could do it.
Just put everybody in a room and drink some whiskey. Shut the fuck up and just figure shit out. That's all you need. All right. So what is this Stone Soup?
So this was released in early 2022. So Brennan Carty and Culloden declared 2022 the year of the poachine. They had their first Poachine Now festival in November in Ireland. This was a release. This is made up of 7 bags of turfed malted barley, 3 bags of unmalted barley, 2 bags of turfed malted oats, 1 bag of malted wheat, and 1 bag of malted rye. This was rested for 10 weeks in PX sherry casks. You can't, on poachine, it's one of the 3 categories that does have a legal technical file in Ireland. You have Irish cream, Irish whiskey, and Irish poachine. And in poachine, you can't have aged, matured cask on the label. So this is rested in Culloden's own PX sherry cask.
So what does the term, when it comes to this whiskey, what does the term turfed mean?
Turfed means peated.
Oh, okay.
It means the grain has been malted with peat smoke.
With peat, got it.
So this is going to be smoky. And Irish poachine wasn't legalized until 1997. There's some water in there.
Wow, this literally smells like White Dog.
Yeah. And in 2015 is when the Irish government did a technical file for poachine. And there are several brands of poachine available on the market. I think I've got 7 bottles.
Wow, this is light vanilla.
So this is 55% ABV.
White Dog. Oh my God.
There were 252 bottles. This sold out in about 10 minutes. I just got lucky enough that a friend of mine and I remembered a UK site that was also selling these. So out of our whole big friend group, we're the only 2 that got any.
Oh. So the palate is not nearly as sweet as the nose is. I was bracing myself for some really, I'm not going to say young, but some really like youngish type of whiskey off the nose. Mm-hmm. But on the palate, this actually has a lot of depth to it.
It does. And part of that is what Culloden puts into it. They're using quality ingredients. They're using worm tub condensers for the distillation. They're doing so many good things that's outside of the norm. They're going really old school with their practices. And
worm tub is something you don't really hear very often. It's
not outside of Scotch, no.
Exactly, not outside of Scotch. I mean, I know Craigellachie is used with utilizes the worm tubs, but you don't really hear it outside of that too much.
No, Pierce Lyons also does in Ireland. But
there you go.
This is just, I'm like, I would pick this over a few whiskeys that I have. Poachine is really good and can stand on its own when it's done well.
Yeah, I could see why. I mean, I've never had it, but this is really nice. I mean, It
Mhm.
comes off very sweet, little savory. It's woody, slightly herbal, but a nice sweet balance to it.
The thing about that kills me about poaching is the mouthfeel. The mouthfeel's so creamy.
It is. It is very, very creamy, very viscous for sure.
Hey, cheers, William Reynolds. Yeah, Donald, I've got to get that Glendalough poaching you keep talking
Yeah,
about.
Donald, you got to be all over this, dude. Shit, that's good. Yeah, this is up there for me tonight, I would say.
So I'm going to ask you the hard question. What's been your favorite?
Oh my god. Um, I think as much as I love that Redbreast Christmas cake,
Hmm.
the depth and flavors that I got out of the cologne, the
Hmm.
acacia, the short cross, those two
Hmm.
are probably. I would have to spend some more time with them, but those are kind of my top two. I think those
Yeah.
are absolutely delicious. I mean, so many they couldn't be more opposite. Like I wouldn't say opposite, but when it comes to just flavor profiles, they both offer something extremely different. Um, I think the cologne, the acacia, it's got a really beautiful spice to it. The short cross, though, I think has a lot of depth of flavor, and that orange creamsicle, there's just something about it that just like takes me back to childhood.
It's so different.
It's
It's
so it's
it's
so
so unexpected with a peated single malt.
I read this and all I'm thinking is, okay, it's going to be smoky. It's going to be probably a little sweet. I would have never thought I got like that orange marmalade creamsicle biscuit type note on
Mhm.
that sample. That thing's crazy. That's crazy good. And then
Hey, cheers, Adam.
and then this poutine here thing is
Oh yeah.
this is a whole
Those
different.
are my two favorites of the both of the cologne. Although that two stacks cherry brandy. Actually, I might pick that two stacks, the cherry brandy and the poaching. I
But
love that.
that two stack cherry brandy, that might be, I would say, out of the lineup, that's definitely the most dangerous.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because you could crush that.
Yeah.
Like that's ridiculous. So does that even is that even a 700 milliliter bottle?
This is a 700 mil.
It is a 700 mil. Okay,
Yeah.
for the two stacks, yeah,
Yep.
that thing's crazy good.
All of these are 700 mil, with the exception of the cologne. Cologne typically sells in these 500
Mm-hmm.
size, but that's not an approved size in the US, so they have to go 375.
Damn, that is really good. This is how you get ready for St. Patty's Day right here.
Yeah. And that's what I love to introduce people to. It's like outside of the major brands. There's some great Irish whiskey. It's just unfortunately getting over the US is pretty expensive. So by the time they pay all of that and get their product over here, they really don't have any money left for advertising. So it's all word of mouth.
I could see that. But honestly, word of mouth is not a bad way to sell a whiskey. I mean, even in bourbon, you have some brands that didn't really take off, right away. Kind of took some time for people to start talking about it before it got popular. I think probably the most recent example of that I can think of is Lucky 7. And I know Lucky 7 is sourcing, but until people started talking about the barrels that they were sourcing, people, if you saw Lucky 7 on the shelf, all you would see is the H statement and be like, well, what the hell is that from? So, but as far as these go, such an array of flavors from all the different ones we had. So real quick here. I mean, the Bushmills vermouth has stayed pretty floral. The Redbreast I think has gotten even better on the nose.
Yeah.
What the hell? That smells so desserty. So like Italian fruitcake in the basement that my grandma would give away as gifts that nobody wanted. Just saying. the fruitcakes I'm talking about in the box.
Oh my God. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. That's actually what it reminded me of. It reminded me of Christmas fruit cake.
That is exactly what it smells and tastes like.
Yeah.
I think that would be a favorite for a lot of people, is because it's so sweet and delicious.
Yeah. That's why I'm really hoping they release it.
Yeah, I'm gonna write a letter. I'm right with you. But like for me, between the short cross and the cologne.
Hey, JH.
man. What's up, JH? Oh man, that is so good. One of my favorite Irish whiskeys that I have, which is a Cooley product, is the I have a Teeling. I think it's a 14 or 15 year finish in aged in a chestnut cask. That's
Ooh,
and it's
that sounds
cask
good.
strength, and it's probably one of my favorite Irish whiskeys that I own. I savor every single drop of that stuff. It's so
I
good.
was hoping to see you up there at Fido. I was up at Fido a couple weeks ago
Oh, were
for
you?
the Teeling 32-year finished in purple Muscat.
Oh, I forgot his name, but the guy that runs that program.
Yeah, I'm blanking on his name off the top of my head.
The big bald guy. Yeah, I
Yeah,
can't
I know who you mean.
remember his name, but yeah, he invited me to it. I couldn't make it that day,
Yeah.
unfortunately. So
They was good. It's not 3,500 good.
okay.
It's good. Don't get me wrong, but
The fact that they get some of those really interesting, bottles, that's probably one of the better Irish whiskey, one of the better Irish whiskey selections you're going to find in Columbus.
oh, I totally agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they talked us into a friend and I split a 29-year Teeling single malt there as well.
Oh, really?
It's
Wow.
finished in the rum casks. I'm like, yeah.
Nice. That's awesome.
Twist my arm.
Oh, this is so good. I don't even
So
know.
what do you have coming up this week on your channel?
So I have an exclusive review coming out from Jack Daniels. You guys will see that Tuesday. I can't say what it is quite yet because it's under embargo, unfortunately. You'll also see a Bernheim. I'm gonna finally get my review out for the Bernheim Barrel Proof, and you may see a little bit of an Irish whiskey episode at the end of the week. So that's what's coming up this week. So a lot to come content wise, and my live stream this week. I'm not sure what's happening quite yet. There might be a chance I can't live stream this Wednesday because there's something personal going on. But other than that, there'll be plenty of videos this week. So be a good week. So what about you, Stacey? What are you reviewing soon?
So this week, I'm actually going to be on with Leanne from Scotch on the Bayou.
Oh,
On her channel on Tuesday. Yeah,
gem.
Picking out some Irish whiskeys for Scotch drinkers.
Oh.
So I've got some things in mind.
Can I ask you like a couple that you have in mind?
One actually, I'm trying to pick things that actually people can actually get, as well as my normal selection. But the Bushmills 12-year, which is a new one, which is finished in Marsala. I think that's a good one. It's still real malty and heavy, and almost has like a tobacco note to it.
Are they mostly single malts?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no, I've got some single pots. And Blue Spot I'm throwing in there because freaking everybody likes Blue Spot.
You have to. Everybody loves Blue Spot. Yeah.
The other one is Dunville's 12.
Okay.
Or if you can't get that, Dunville's 10. Dunville's is so good. Awesome. I've actually got coming a 21-year-old Dunville's finished in Palo Cortado.
Oh,
single cask.
I love Palo Cortado.
Single cask strength.
Oh boy!
And it won Irish Whiskey of the Year at the Irish Whiskey Awards.
I could see why. But anything, I have a very rare bottle of Bunnahabhain finished in Palo Cortado, and it's one of my favorite bottles of all time.
So after that, I've got I'm going to be on with Bad Axe Bourbon on Bobby's channel, and then whoever needs help. I also sent a flight to Trev for Friday because everybody kept hounding me. Well, you're going to go live. I'm not going to go live on St. Patrick's Day. I start with a parade. I'm in a parade at noon, at 11 a.m. noon. I got to be downtown for the parade. And then I'm probably not going to be in any shape to run my own stream Friday night.
Did you do the Dublin parade on Saturday at all?
I didn't. Normally I do, but our wolfhound is 5.5 now, so he's not really enjoying parades anymore.
Oh, okay.
So we did. This is the first year we didn't. But we've got the Columbus parade on St. Patrick's Day, which should be interesting because found out March Madness is going on at the same time.
Yeah. March Madness is it's a tiny little thing. So.
Yeah, just a wee bit. So yeah, luckily, I mean that game kicks off right as the parade starts. So by the time we get up there, they'll be all settled. But then it's just going to all the different Irish organizations and hanging out with them, drinking. Pretty much same thing I did Friday, just repeat.
Yeah.
But Then on Sunday, it got postponed from a couple weeks ago. I will have Mike Stahl from Livewire Whiskey and Shayla from Whiskey Central. They're doing a blind Irish whiskey battle.
Yes.
All whiskey from Ireland that I know 100% neither of them have had before. I said, I will give $5 to either one of you if you can name any one of these bottles.
Only $5? Yeah.
Well, because I know they're not going to do it.
I would put way more money on Shayla than Mike. I'll tell you that.
So I've gotten some good I've got some good stuff. I'm excited to have them try it.
Well, Stacey, thank you so much for this.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it.
This is quite the tasting. I hope we definitely got to collab again soon. We'd love to have you on my channel on a Wednesday night or something like that, just tasting through some of these amazing Irish whiskeys. So I really appreciate it.
Thank you, everybody. And make sure you guys check out Livewire tonight. They're going live at 9:00. And happy St. Patrick's Day to all of you.
Yes.
Sláinte.
Cheers, Sláinte.